Exit Slips, a lifetime of teaching in 10 sticky notes. For Sherwood Forest. Navigating school hallways, noisy classrooms, and the myriad of characters who possess them is like entering a dense forest. A movie titled it A Blackboard Jungle. It is amazing that those of us who work there survive, yet some don't. I was not sure I would. It takes a tremendous amount of confidence to succeed. A learned man once said, "Anyone who ever gave you confidence, you owe them a lot." I am in great debt to those that helped me. I hope I return the favor. I was not born with confidence. For much of my life, I felt uncertain, uneasy in my own skin. I grew up in a charismatic house with gregarious siblings. My brother and sister seemingly were born to fill a room. It left little room for me. They were the life of the party. I was there to laugh, be entertained, and to be quiet. Being called shy was not endearing. Early on in school, my lack of confidence held me back. I refrained from joining teams and missed out on frontiers meant to be explored. I settled, contented to live in my own small world. But only for a while. Conscious intervention by others changed my life. Confidence came when others began to recognize the soul crying out for its natural freedom. Teachers asked me to help lead. Coaches asked me to be captain. And in certain social settings, I was asked to speak out. I owe all of those people a lot. My soul was set free. I had the confidence to live. And live I did by bringing out the confidence in others. Confidence does not come easy for most. But with the right invitation, it can become the greatest gift. Innovation is impossible without confidence. You cannot be an entrepreneur of ideas without self-assurance. It is hard to love without confidence. Teachers had made an undeniable impact on my life, and I felt called to do the same. I wanted to return the favor. Learning about the causes of the Civil War mattered little to me. Knowing the differences and distinctions between our three branches of government did not move mountains. The gift of confidence, however, changes everything. It happened to me. I wanted it to happen to every student in my class. As one of my colleagues always said, the best of what we do cannot be measured. My classroom's essence was always meant to be a social, emotional learning center. My room was safe. My room was welcoming. My room was not governed by mere facts, data, and formal curriculums. My room was all about the soul. The transformation of any community of individuals must dive below the surface. It must touch the human soul. Interestingly, the etymology of the word soul comes from the Greek to cool. The soul is the essence of man, the vital breath behind all that we do. Kandinsky's art allowed for a pluralistic representation of what it means to be cool. He bullied the bullies with color, shapes, and canvas. Be yourself. What more can we ask from any soul? What more can we ask from any teacher to nurture? Over 100 years ago, Dr. Duncan McDougall of Dorchester, Massachusetts, conducted an infamous experiment where he concluded that the human soul weighed 21 grams. Though his empirical methods have been seriously discounted, the spirit of his discovery continues to be unquestioned. The human soul may not be measurable, but it lives inside of all of us. This in fact, was nothing new. Socrates in the Phaedo said it best. What is it that when present in a body makes it living? A soul. Throughout history, people groups of all kinds and beliefs have identified the soul as an essence that confers individuality and humanity. The soul makes up who we are. It is our essence. It was the soul of every student that interested me most. Without confidence, that soul laid dormant. The great Roman statesman Cicero said, "The authority of those who teach is often an obstacle to those who want to learn." The last thing I wanted to be was an obstacle. I knew that life. I wanted to open up new horizons by giving each and every one of my students the confidence to explore their own forest. I wanted my students to be a king and queen in their jungle. A recent Washington Post piece by Jay Matthews encapsulated one such teacher who felt the same. She couldn't motivate children until she knew what was bothering or pleasing them. Students learn from people who love them, she said, They will be motivated and inspired to learn if they know deep down that you care about them. Welcome to my jungle. Welcome to my delight. I am here to care for you and learn about you. One of my first real tests along the way I will never forget. Tony Sherwood was that guy. He was that guy, the guy who always had something to say. Tony always was angling to say that funny remark. He was that guy. The guy who was not quite in the group but made the in-group giggle. He wore Clark Kent glasses. I typically built him up, made him feel wanted, welcomed him in each and every day. Tony Sherwood had potential that needed to be encouraged. As other teachers groaned when he entered their classroom, I saw in Tony Sherwood another needy soul waiting to be unleashed. Until that day. That day was pulling my rope tighter than usual. And being that teacher didn't mean that I was soft, unconditionally tolerant, and immune from having a principled classroom. Tony crossed the line. Tony, I said, I think it best for you to go outside and think about what you are doing. Really, he said, and then Tony dropped a line I would never forget. Mr. Larson, you are not cool anymore. My soul, my confidence, my entire teaching career passed before my eyes. Is that ultimately what my soul needed? Did I need affirmation of being cool? Instinctually, I responded, Tony, I didn't become a teacher to be called cool by you or any of your friends. I became a teacher to actually teach you something, and I think you will best learn it out in the hallway. The class was silent. A few minutes later, I went into the hallway and spoke with Tony. He knew what he had done. He apologized. He went on to be a leader in that class. 20 years later, another Sherwood entered my class. Hey, Mr. Larson, that student asked, did you ever have a Tony Sherwood in your class? He's my uncle. He says you were the coolest teacher he ever had. He still says you actually taught him the most important lessons. Tony went on to become a leader in his industry. Unleashing confidence can do that. My commitment has always been to be in the redistribution business. It pays me dividends over and over. Redistributing confidence electrified my daily routine. Even strangers in the hallways of my school look forward to hearing a greeting from me. I care not only for the students on my roster, but for any and all that cross my path. Like Robin Hood, I was a bandit, stealing confidence from the universe and giving it to those who needed it most, just in time. I worked a lifetime in the Sherwood Forest. With confidence, I can say I made it out alive with thousands of merry men and women.